Hello, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. I am the Recovery Plug. Well, you know how I like to get my video started always with a moment of silence followed by the serenity prayer for the addict who still suffers. If you would, a moment of silence. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Alrighty, well, let's get started. Well, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I don't know how many of you have kids or not, but I do. And, I know as I was growing up, I was involved in drugs and alcohol since I was in the first grade. It was the first time I experimented with drugs and alcohol, and I was a little guy, and so being in the addictive world for a long time and knowing how that sort of lifestyle is and that sort of thing. Well, I've grown accustomed to knowing a bunch of places and things that kids do to hide the drugs from mom and dad, or from whoever, right? So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today, is the places and things that kids do to hide their drugs and their whatever that they're using and that sort of thing. Because nowadays it's kind of it's a little harder to do nowadays because the drugs are different. Most of them, there's a bunch of prescription drugs and that sort of thing, and so kids, they'll crush the pills and snort them and or shoot it up or whatever it is that they do. So I just want to kind of, I guess this is an informative thing for those of you who have kids and who wouldn't know where to start to see or to just check if you suspect that your kids are involved in anything like that. So so I came up with a list of about 10 places or 10 things that kids will hide their stuff in, and I wanted to kind of go over that list, and maybe if I think about it a little bit more as we go along, I'll elaborate on that. So I mean, this is just to be aware of what your kids are doing, and if they're if you notice them maybe lashing out a little bit more than normal, or if you notice that they're just sleeping in or feeling isolated, they don't want to come out of their room, or they seem to not want to hang out with anybody, or they are just moping around the house, or every time you guys go there's a family outing, or you're going to go get something to eat or go to the grocery store, and they don't want to go, they just want to stay back. Those are all signs of perhaps your kids are doing a little extracurricular activities that they don't want you knowing about. So as the Recovery Plug, I'm here to just kind of touch base on that a little bit, so that maybe if you're a parent like I am, you'll open up your eyes a little bit more, and hopefully your kids won't follow that road to the addictive and dark realm, if you will, because it's no place for kids, that's for sure. And me being a person who has been there and done that, as a kid and as an adult, I don't want to see anybody's kids go into an overdose or any of that kind of stuff, because it's happening, and it's happening every day. It's happening to younger and younger kids. You know what I mean? The more that the kids see this kind of stuff in the videos and the things that they watch and the music and because it all has an effect. And when everybody's listening to that music, or everybody's into that, whatever scene it is, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen to where they get introduced and they want to do it, or they get introduced and they get freaked out, or maybe it's peer pressure or something like that. You just never know what the situation is going to be. But I know that when kids are out on their own and that opportunity comes up, it's hard to say no, because you don't want to be, that kid. You don't want to be that kid that is not part of the cool crowd. You know what I mean? So yeah, I most definitely understand, and I've been there and I've done that, and you don't want to go down that road. But okay, let me just go off the list. The one of the first things I got down here is it's kids will hide drugs in medicine bottles, prescription drug bottles. They'll hide it in pens. They'll hide it in flashlights. They'll hide it in their shoes. They'll hide it in their closet. They'll hide it under their bed ledge. They'll hide it under the sink ledge. They'll hide it in the freezer. They'll hide it in AC vents. And they'll hide it in their bag or in their backpacks. So those are probably the top 10 places that kids would probably hide something. So you want to take a look at that. And when I say like under the bed ledge, I mean you have your bed, and under the bed there's always a little lip that comes down. And in that lip, it's like a 90-degree angle, like this. And when here's the bed, and the ledge comes down like that. Well, if you have this ledge that goes all the way down along the bedside, well, right there, all you need is a piece of duct tape, and you can tape up a little plastic bag of some shit right up under that ledge. And the same goes with the sink. When you open your doors of the sink, up under the sink, same thing. Up under that ledge, you get a piece of duct tape, and you tape the bag right up to that, and it'll stay for weeks. And even when you open your closets, you know how the closets have, your clothes is all hanging here, but at the door of the closet, there's always a little ledge that comes down about 4 to 6 inches. Well, right in that ledge, when you're facing it, you can't see what's on the other side of that ledge. So bam, right there, they'll tape another piece of tape with some plastic bags of some shit up there. And also in their backpacks or in pens, they'll unscrew the pens, or a Sharpie, dismantle the Sharpie or the pen, they'll stick the drugs in there and put it all back to where it's functionable. So you want to check that. And in flashlights, you know how you have all these little mag lights, these little, $1 flashlights that are, at Walmart. You take those things apart, you can slip a bag, a 20 bag of meth, you can slip it under there, because meth can get crushed where it's flat. It doesn't matter, because meth either gets smoked or snorted, so if it's crunched, it don't matter. So you can put it and manipulate it however you want in that flashlight, put it back, and the flashlight works. So you're not going to think about looking in there. That's another spot that they could possibly use. And also in books. In books also, I've seen it where in the book, if you get a book and you get the very edge of the book right in the middle, and you get close to the binder, and all you got to do is just get a razor blade and cut a few pages out of that little square, and then you stick the drugs in there, and you close the book, and nobody ever, even if you open the book and flip the pages like a deck of cards, kind of, it's not going to come out. And so yeah, it's a lot of places that kids can hide drugs, and not only kids but adults too. You know what I mean? I've seen adults use all those places to hide methamphetamines, marijuana, heroin. Heroin gets hit a lot in the cool places, like the vents or the AC or the freezer, because it has to stay cool so that it stays hard, because if not, it gets real gooey. And nobody likes to mess around when it gets hard to take the drugs off of the plastic when it's all gooey like that. It's like, it starts sticking everywhere. It's like, having a real sticky piece of gum in the hot summertime. It just starts getting everywhere. So you'll waste your drugs like that. So that's why they hide them in cool spots. But and then the pills can get crushed into fine powder, put it in little bags, and then you can tape that up anywhere. You know what I mean? It could be taped up behind any ledge, any wall, any frame, anything. So just remember that. Just a heads up that. Again, if you've noticed your kids being, where they're just sleeping a lot, or they don't want to help you out around the house, or they don't want to go with you to the stores anymore, they just want to stay back, they want to, spend the night at their friends a lot, you just got to look out for all the red flags. And one of the things that I like to always encourage is to talk to your kids. Talk to them and let them know. Let them know what the drugs are, what the drugs of today are, and what they can do, where they can get them, and what it can, how it affects them, and what it can do to them physically, and the whole domino effect of it. And let them know that it's dangerous, that it kills, and let them know how and why. Or watch, have them watch these. There's a bunch of documentaries on young kids being addicted and trying to get clean, and it's just a mess, and a good thing to do is take pictures of your kids, and then notice them. Take a picture that you took today, and then go back and get a picture like that you took maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and compare them and see if there's any difference in that. See if there's any difference in the way they look, the way their facial features are. If they look, black-eyed around the eyes, or if they just look sunken in on the cheeks, or if they're have burn spots on their fingertips, or burn spots on their hands or their legs, and just different things like that. If you see maybe cuts and that sort of thing. If they start getting a raspy, horsey voice, if you notice that they're just needing a lot of water, if they're drinking a heck of a lot of bottles of water, then that's always a sign also, because you get cotton mouth when you do a lot of drugs, and you always want to, trying to, replenish the electrolytes in your body, so you tend to drink a lot of water, or just a lot of drinks, any type of drinks anyway. Or if you see the lips that are cracking and dry, if you start noticing sores on them, or if you start noticing that they're talking to themselves, perhaps, or they're twitching, or they're just staying up late hours at night, or don't want to get up in the morning. And there's just a lot of signs that you can look for to make sure. And I think the most important thing is talking to them, because I know I did that to my kids. I talked to them, and I reassured them that they could talk to me about any and everything without me. This is what I told them. I said, look, you can talk to me about anything, and know that I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to spank you. I'm not going to ground you. I'm not going to do any of that kind of stuff if you talk to me and tell me the truth. And but be truthful. You know what I mean? I might be disappointed, and if you're doing something, that you got caught doing or something, that's a little bit different. Then then you're gonna have to suffer the consequences with being in trouble and stuff. But overall, don't be afraid to talk to me. Don't be afraid to talk to me about anything that's happening in your life. If anybody's messing with you, if you're having an issue with a boy or a girl, if you're having issues mentally, if you feel like you're lonely, if you feel depressed, if you feel sad, if you feel angry, whatever it is that you feel, if you feel that you need to talk to somebody, know that your daddy is right here, and your dad is here so you can talk to him. And I've always instilled that in my kids, and to this day they're like that. I mean, they talk to me. I got 3 daughters, and they talk to me about everything. We don't hide anything from each other, and I'm blessed that none of them are addicted to drugs, because their dad was, you know what I mean, and they didn't know for a long time, but I didn't want to see my kids go through that, so I'm trying to just make this video to bring awareness to the people out there who have kids. And if you're a kid yourself, know that there's options. If you're feeling, mad, sad, depressed, lonely, like if you feel like there's no like you just hate your life, trust me that life is a whole lot. It gets better, but you got to do positive things, and you have to be willing to do the positive things, and put surround yourself with positive people. And if you're having trouble at home, talk to your mom and dad. Let them know how you feel. And if that doesn't work, then there's always a teacher that you might confide in, a counselor, or maybe an aunt, an uncle, someone like that, someone who's older, who is looking out for you, for your best interest. And that's somebody that you trust, obviously. But the last thing you want to do is go down the wrong road like I did, because it's not a good place. But there's always I know if my kids were able to be adults and attain good lives and stuff like that without being addicted to drugs or alcohol, then I must have done something right. But anyway, yeah. So I encourage you to talk to your kids, and and look out for all those signs. And even if you don't have kids, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your boyfriend, maybe it's your girlfriend. Look out for all those things, because you know what? A lot of times when people are doing stuff like that, they're crying out for help. And most of the time when somebody's addicted, they're addicted because something has happened to them in their life that they think that this is the only way out. I have to do this so that I don't feel any of that. So just remember that, and don't because the last thing an addict wants to hear is how to run your life. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Now, if you approach it in a different way, like, hey, I've noticed that you're not yourself anymore. Is there anything that's bothering you? Let's talk about it. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm here to help in any way I can, because I love you and I don't want to see anything bad happen to you. But yeah, there's different ways and different approaches to approach people like that. But most of the concern that I had for this video alone was mainly just to bring awareness of looking out for places and things where possibly drugs can be hidden. And one of the things that I forgot to mention is on the medicine bottles. If you have a medicine bottle and the label is all the way to the bottom of the bottle, is a good sign that they're hiding something, because a lot of times, most of the time, drug bottles have a little bit of a gap at the bottom of the bottle, so you can see what's inside the bottle through the bottom. So because I know, because I used to do this, and I would take off the label and scoot it down to where it's flush to the bottom. Now you can't see anything in that bottle. But nobody would mess with it because it's not their bottle. It has your name on it. It's your prescription bottle. And you can put whatever is in there, or you can put whatever in there, and nobody's really going to open it up because it's not their prescription. It's yours. It has your name on it. And so that's another way. So, you know, because if you open it, if you get a bottle and you look at the bottom of it, you're going to see a little gap. And you're going to be able to see if there's a plastic bag in there or if there's going to be anything else other than the pills that are supposed to be in there. And so, or you know, so if they bring them down and it covers the whole bottle and all you see is paper from the bottom of the bottle up, then you know, more than likely, you know, that bottle is being used for something else other than what it was meant to be for. So it's probably got other drugs in there. Maybe it's got a mixture or something like that. So you want to be able to make sure that you count the medications in bottles that you have at home. You know, so if you have pain meds and nobody's taking them, but then if you count them, you know how many pills are in there. You'll know if somebody's using it. You know what I mean? So it's another one to look out for, is counting the pills in your actual medicine cabinet and take a, you know, a log of how many pills are in each bottle and who's taking it. You know, and yeah, so anyway, I wanted to kind of just get this video out there just so that you can be aware, and hopefully it saves somebody. And that's my only reason for doing it, is because, you know, I don't know if anybody knows this, but in the United States, every 3 weeks, there's a 9/11 happening. And what I mean by that is that in 9/11, over 3,000 people died in 9/11. So every 3 weeks, 3,000 and some odd people, between 3,000 and 4,000 people die every 3 weeks of drug overdoses in the United States. That's mind-boggling. That's a lot of people that are dying every 3 weeks. You're having about 3,000 to 4,000 people die every 3 weeks to drug overdose. So it's a problem. But I just wanted to get this video out there to bring awareness, and hopefully, you know, it helps you in you know, looking out for things like that for anybody in your household, your friends, just, you know, because, you know, you want to let them know that you care. So, you know, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos, and you know, please, if you would, hit the like button, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button if you would. It didn't cost you anything, but just to tap that little icon, so I could use all the, you know, help that I can get in my channel, so that I can, you know, promote and bring awareness. And I could use the help for the other programs or projects that I got coming up. So the more people subscribe to my channel, the more people give me a thumbs up, the better. So I really appreciate that. So until next time on When the Smoke Clears, I am the Recovery Plug.